Hello viewers and welcome to SaharaTV. My name is David Miskis. On January 23rd, Premium Times released an investigative report into human trafficking in Nigeria. And with me today to discuss this further is Mojeed Musikilu, managing editor, Premium Times, and investigative journalist, formerly with Next. Also with me today is Mr. Ikhide Ikheloa, writer and social commentator. Thank you, gentlemen, both for being with us here on SaharaTV.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Musikilu.
Musikilu, yes, I apologize. Mojeed, I'd like to start out with you. Just a couple of questions regarding the framing of this interview and to give the topic a frame. Can you just tell us how you came about the story? What was the process that you went through?
Well, by and large, the process involved in the story, it's something that is known by everyone at this point. We started talking about the story far back in April or so last year, and then we started reporting the story. And then Tobore came on board and she took over. We started, Tobore started investigating the story. And then we completed the investigation in November, and the story was ready in November for publication in December, but then Nelson Mandela died and we put it off. And then we decided to run with it in January. Basically, that was it. But if there are other specific questions you'd like me to answer, then I willingly do so.
Okay, so I just one clarification there was you had already been doing some research, Premium Times in general, and then Tobore came on board to the story.
Basically, for us, we always been interested in the issue of trafficking. Mm-hmm. And then we've always wanted to do stories in trafficking because, as you know, we pride ourselves as doing the deepest investigative reports about Nigeria. So that falls within our framework, corruption, trafficking, and all of that. And then, we've been talking about it. How do we understand the way trafficking works? And then it became concretized when we hooked up with Tobore and she came on board. But Tobore, even before Tobore agreed to come on board, Tobore already on her own, had a desire to also do the same story. So it's just a meeting of mind. And then Tobore came
on board and went.
She just continued from where she stopped at her former newspaper.
Oh, okay. And then just one question to follow that is, what were some of the major challenges faced in covering and reporting on stories such as this one that you all faced?
Oh, it's one of the most dangerous assignments I've ever seen a reporter done in my life. As you would know, reporting the underworld is challenging. Tobore could have lost her life, and so you know what it means, camping with the syndicate, gathering evidence from deadly syndicates. That's a major challenge, being able to gather evidence, being able to come out alive. So it's really one of the most dangerous assignments any reporter I know has ever done. And that's why I worry, that's why I get upset when I see people casting aspersion on a woman that could have lost her life in the process of this investigation.
Ikhide, please, now, what were your first reactions when you read this story? And, after that, follow-up then, when did you first start to question some of the things that you've been talking about?
Well, it's a great question. I have to be honest, I feel violated. I feel betrayed because when I first read the story, given my intimate relationship with folks like Tobore and Musikilu, it never occurred to me that, as it turns out, this young lady was, as far as I'm concerned, basically type in an imaginary experience from the safety of a bedroom. I, uh, 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 I was upset. I put out on social media that this was a horrid situation. Um, and that was where I was, and everybody was upset. And then there was a friend of mine on Facebook that asked quietly, Leslie is her name, asked quietly, you are a reviewer of books. How come you didn't take a harder look at this story? Do you believe it? Uh, at first, I waved it, I waved it aside, but it kept nagging at me. And then I went back and I read that story. David, I was upset at myself. I was really angry with myself for being that gullible. I was also very angry with my friends Dakpo and Moshikulu for believing that most Nigerians are that gullible to believe that crap. Now, I wrote a fairly mild a piece on my blog expressing some concerns about about what I just read.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to say, please do follow up with some of those issues, like the major
So
issues.
I understand that. So that, I am giving you context for what happened.
Okay, yeah, please
So
go ahead.
I basically was behaving as a customer, saying, look, this product that I've received is defective. What are you going to do about it? So that's where I was with it. Initially, to answer your question, I was horrified by what I thought had just happened to a young lady. But I will tell you, uh, you know, I didn't come here to argue with anyone. I am here to be helpful. How can we help Premium Times to get back on track? Premium Times has an image problem. Premium Times has a credibility gap. All you need to do is go to their website. Everybody's yelling at them. Everybody feels betrayed. They have to own that. Once they own that, they'll be back to where they ought to be, which is serving as an accountability tool against the government of the day, against for the citizens of our country. Premium Times has let us down hugely. And as customers, we are disappointed. It has taken them 2 weeks to respond to multiple concerns. How can we, as intellectuals, be so insistent on high standards for others, and we are allergic to accountability? That's just absurd.
Okay, yeah, I think yeah, Ikide's claim that Premium Times has an image problem is just a figment of his imagination. I must say that upfront. Premium Times does not have an image problem. That's what you imagine and what you think about. Because the truth is that at the end of it all, you will realize that you have wasted 2 weeks of your life peddling falsehood and hugging it. It's so unfortunate. What you said, you are claiming that the story is false, is fabricated. And then you started by saying, by questioning the veracity of the story on what you call the using of phone in a difficult situation. Then you said Tobore tweeted throughout the investigation, which is a blatant lie. Then you said the investigation was done after a workshop in Benue, which is a blatant lie. Every claim you have made is false. And yet, as a reviewer of book, as an intellectual, you have failed the simple logic of reasoning. The simple rule of logic, you have failed it because you have no evidence. Can you tell the world what evidence you have that the story is fabricated? Well, the story has been told. Whether you believe it, it doesn't mean it is not. So, for you, it is you who has an image problem, not Premium Times, not anyone in Premium Times that has an image problem. Because if you really want to help Premium Times, you know me, you know Dapo. We've related. In fact, about 2 weeks or so ago, I spoke with you about coming back to continue a column on Premium Times. So if you have a problem about how a report was done, or you need additional information, why wouldn't you contact us if truly you care about Premium Times? If your motive is not to destroy an institution that is holding officials accountable in this country.
David,
Yeah.
as African intellectuals, we have basically run short over our real and imagined adversaries without looking inwards. We love to give lectures, but we don't love to be given feedback. What just happened here in any society would have cost a lot of people their jobs, would have shut down Premium Times. Let me put it this way. We have an individual claiming that 5 individuals were murdered, 2 of them beheaded. David, if you were related to any of those people and somehow Premium Times calls the Boy Scouts to investigate the murders, would you not be appalled? Would you not be outraged? What is wrong with these people? David, I am data driven. Go to their website. 90% of the comments on these stories, on their alleged responses finally to what I have been yelling about for 2 weeks, 90% of the people are yelling at them and calling them basically liars.
Wait, hold on, Mojeed, 1 second.
I'm speaking, please. I am speaking. Do you mind? I am
No,
speaking.
no, I have to.
Let me finish.
Wait, Mojeed, yeah, let him just make the whole comment, then you can comment to it in entirety.
David, 90% of these people are outraged at being betrayed by Premium Times. David, I ask you, you tell me, in your society, if anyone said 2 people have been beheaded, would you think it's appropriate to ask for the Boy Scouts to investigate? I ask you, secondly, ask Mojeed, what is his relationship with ZAM Chronicles? How much were they paid? What or if any, to get in, to tell this story out? Now, I'm going back to my original point. African intellectuals have many of them have been complicit in what Adichie calls the single story. We are spreading a single story of Africa for fame and for fortune, and that is unconscionable. That is unacceptable to me. And I tell you this. I'm speaking. David, I ask you, do you think it was appropriate for Premium Times to wait 2 weeks before responding to any of us?
Well,
I ask you.
Okay, so Ikhide, one sec, Mojeed. Ikhide, I was just curious. I mean, I just wanted to get some further issue. When you say like betrayed, can you speak on? I mean, you called this thing like a giant lie. I mean, are there pieces that you're worried about? You feel that the whole story was made up? Because obviously, I think we're all in agreement here that trafficking does occur in Nigeria at some level.
Absolutely.
I mean, we talked about a nap tip existing and even premium. Sorry, one second. Just Premium Times itself has gone to, talk about that they've worked with some investigations in the past and had contact with NAPTIP, who does investigations. So I'm curious, just if you could state like some of the concrete issue that you have with this story, like the level of fabrication that you're alleging here.
The first issue is if you go through all the transcripts, and if you go through, I have studied this thing extensively. These people lied to me, and I'm very upset about that. First, they said, let me finish.
Wait, let him lay out, Mojeed, and Mojeed, I just want him to lay out, and we can respond.
I came here to help you. You have your newspaper has an image problem. Listen.
Okay, go ahead, Ikhide, please. Yes.
David, to answer your question.
Yes.
First, they said that it was a 4-month investigation starting in May. Then when I pointed out to them that this young lady had been happily tweeting all over the place, they came back and said, "Who told you we started in May? We started somewhere. We started somewhere else. Go to my blog. There are people who were at the conference who say she simply typed up the names and events of the issues that were given to her. I have testimonies from people openly saying this lady couldn't have done any of these things. She she was in Malaysia. David, listen. Yesterday, I went through the Premium Times website. It gets uglier. She was writing an average of six pieces of 6 pieces every week for premium, every month for Premium Times, beginning in May through January. Is that and when you ask them, they'll go, well, the fact that she was in captivity does not mean she couldn't type essays to us. Who does essays six times a month, David? 6 times a month, David. I've done that for 3 years. 600 words for Next for 3 years. It was rough work under very comfortable conditions. Imagine typing an essay, 8 of them every month, while you are dodging kidnappers, people beheading you, and so on and so forth. She is not telling the truth.
Okay.
And
okay, Ikhide, I think we just want to give Mojeed a chance to respond. I mean, you've laid out a number of claims. So, Mojeed, please, some responses to we had here the fact that just what Ikhide mentioned. If you care to respond.
Of course, we've been here for a while, and I've listened to Ikhide. Ikhide still is yet to tell the world what evidence he has that the story is fabricated. Ikhide may aspire to be an information provider, but the ethic of the trade is not erected on petty gossip. He now is telling you that people left comment on his blog. People told him all manner of things. Every damn thing Ikhide has said in the past 2 weeks are lies. The woman didn't. Tobore worked on the story for months, but she only checked in with the syndicate for 1 week in November.
Right.
The rest of the year, she was doing her job and doing the investigation as well. Who tells you that when a reporter is doing one investigation, she's not busy doing her other work? How can that be a basis for discrediting her work? Then Ikhide went to the woman's Instagram account and then said the woman went to Malaysia and interviewed a minister. How can that be a basis for discrediting her work? Then Ikhide came back and said, that she wrote the story from. When Tobore went to that conference, those who you are talking to should tell you, her hair was shaven.
She was the life of the party. She was the life of the party, Mojeed.
Can you let me speak?
She was the life of the party. Go to.
Yeah, let him finish, and then we can add that there. Go ahead, Mojeed.
So let me say to Ikhide should tell us. He hasn't. All this talk about African intellectuals, that's not what we are here for. That's a topic for another day. We talk about African intellectuals and how they are saying a single story.
No, we are here to ask you to explain to us why you lied to us, Mojeed. Why did Premium Times lie to us?
Can you speak, Ikhide? Can you please? I allow you to speak for a long time. Can you let me speak? So
I am trying to help you. You have an image problem, Mojeed.
Ikhide, let Mojeed finish his explanation first. Go ahead, Mojeed.
Okay.
So we can.
Ikhide said the story was that the woman didn't do the investigation, that it was fabricated. And we are asking him, he should provide evidence. When he couldn't, then we decided on our own to release a record of, conversation. Do you believe it that in less than 5 minutes after we posted the record of text messages, Ikhide came back to say it was cooked up? Ask him what evidence he has.
And you know it. It was doctored.
What evidence has Ikhide? Look, if I don't know if your camera can pick this, I can show you Tobore's. I can show you Tobore's messages here on my phone. And one thing I want to make a point to Ikhide. We are willing. Ikhide, we are willing. We will pay your return ticket to Nigeria. Come. We are going to allow you access to every record.
No,
we are going to allow you access to
I appreciate that. I want you to give
to our emails and to everything. Since you trust just yourself, nobody else is capable of doing anything. NAPTIP is not capable, Premium Time is not capable, you are the only one who can do things.
No. David.
One second.
David,
Mojeed.
He's rambling.
Okay, one second, Ikhide, one second. Mojeed, yeah, if you can just root up and then we'll let, because I actually have a question, so if you want to add more and then I have a quick question for you and then we'll go back to Ikhide. Go ahead, Mojeed, is there anything else you wanted to add as far as any points that he brought up right now? Okay, then...
I'm just saying that I want to make the point that I don't know what Ikhide's motivations are. And this, they appear to be, it's not really clear. Because if his motivations are right, if he really believes in the job we are doing of holding people accountable, then Ikhide wouldn't descend to personal attacks on our reporters and editors.
Okay, yeah, Mojeed, just one question that Ikhide was talking about and that I had myself as well. Can you tell us now that this investigation, this particular report has come out, is there any connection as far as with the police or with NAPTIP and Premium Times as far as going after some of the people that you've exposed?
We met Premium Time about the Thursday before the last. We met the NAPTIP. At that meeting, Tobore was there, the reporter was there, I was there, our lawyer was there. About 7 operatives from NAPTIP were there. They interviewed the reporter for about 2 hours, and we made promises. Look, NAPTIP is the agency, the legal agency for investigating traffic-related issues in our country. And then we made promises that we told them a few of the things we know, and we said we were going to cooperate with them to investigate every claim made in that story. What else does Ikhide want us to do? We said we were going to open up all our records, our telephones, our emails, every damn record that is there. We were going to make them available. Then Ikhide said, why didn't we bring in the police? Is it our job to bring in the police? Is it our job to tell stories and tell the authorities to come and report them? How can an intellectual speak that way? That the newspaper has done a story and that the story is false because the newspaper has refused to bring in the police to do investigation. Is that part of our job? Why can't you? Look, the thing Ikhide has done to this story, instead of Ikhide to join force with us and other well-meaning Nigerians, to pressure the police, to pressure NAPTIP, to pressure whoever is involved, to get to the root of this matter, so they can investigate and establish whether the investigation was done, whether it was true. Ikhide has diverted attention from this story. He does not want it investigated.
Okay.
Instead of pushing for authorities, even if he has any doubt about the story, the only way we can be sure that the investigation was done is for Ikhide to allow the authority to, for all of us together as Nigerians, to pressure the authorities to investigate. But where are we now? We are arguing over the story, whether the story is fact or fiction. Is this where we should be?
Now, Ikhide, there was mention earlier of, by Mojeed talking about that they would release the documents and transcripts as far as going forward and releasing the information that I think, do you think this will help clarify some of the situation, or do you think this is a good move? I know because your question now was that a lot of these things were doctored and things like that. Hello? Yes, go ahead.
I can't hear you.
Oh, Ikhide, I was just saying now that Mojeed offered to try to meet some of the issues that you were discussing by releasing the transcripts, documents, and other materials involved in this investigation. Do you think this is a good step forward, or do you still have some concerns?
It's a great step forward.
Okay.
They should, Mojeed is an interested party. Ikhide is an interested party. We need an independent body that Premium Times can provide a release to of all the phone records. The phone records, not only just the text, the phone records. What they forget is this is the 21st century. You can't just go around telling lies. There are footprints all over the place. And it will show every place that this lady allegedly went to. It will show in the phone records. You don't have to give it to me. Mojeed is only here because of the pressure a few of us have put on Premium Times. We are customers. We deserve to be treated with respect. They have lied to us. They have betrayed us. And we can prove it. It's very simple. Mojeed said to me, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mojeed said to me that this lady was going back and forth to places. So which tells me that she knows the addresses of all of these places. She mentioned an army officer who was in the Abacha regime. Provide the names. They have given not a single shred of evidence, not one. They are asking me, the customer, they're asking me, the customer, to provide evidence because that's their mindset. They are not used to being put under pressure to do the right thing. And I'm saying, how are you better than President Goodluck Jonathan if all you're doing is making up stories just so your little magazine can win an award? Who cares about awards? Tell the truth.
Well,
And it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful for Premium Times not to apologize to the Nigerian people for what it has done in betraying our trust. How difficult can that be? Apologize and let's move on.
Right. So Mojeed, the one question I'd like to respond to was this idea of a third-party independent that Ikhide was talking about, rather than just giving him the information. Did you have any response on that?
Of course, we don't care about anybody coming into our premises and investigating. We are open. We are open people here. We are in the business of holding people accountable, and we are always willing to open our doors. There is no secret. And so whether you want a third-party investigate, let them bring it in here. If they want the police to investigate, let them bring them here. We are open. There is nothing to hide. This investigation was done. We are ready to provide all our records. The only thing that's upsetting me.
I can't hear.
No, I'm still home. The only thing that is upsetting me is that an intellectual, a writer, will make claims without evidence. I've asked him.
No, you have made claims without evidence. Your writer has been typing up imaginary beheadings from the safety of her bedroom.
I've asked.
That's disgraceful.
No, I've asked Ikhide. For the 34 minutes we've been here, Ikhide is yet to tell.
You have not given us a shred of evidence, Mojeed. Your writer lied, and you should apologize.
The Ikhide has also told us what evidence he has that...
Okay. So just to bring that back, sorry, just one interruption. Ikhide, there seems to be some issue with your video. Maybe on that side, we were just wondering if you might be able to bring it back. I just got a notice here in the studio.
All right.
Okay, great. So unfortunately, we're running a bit short on time, but I did want to get your thoughts on some additional questions. And first, Ikhide, please, I'd like to know...
David, quickly, he did not answer my question. What is their relationship with ZAM Chronicle, the Amsterdam-based sponsor? How much was involved? Was money involved? Answer us honestly. You were contracted through ZAM Chronicle. Explain to the Nigerian people your relationship with ZAM Chronicle.
Okay, yeah, Mojeed, please, if you'd like to respond to that.
Of course, why not?
Was money involved?
ZAM Chronicle is our partner, and I will explain how we came to be partner with ZAM Chronicle, if you must know. Now, the investigative editor of ZAM Chronicle, Evelyn Groening, has been my friend for 8 years. She used to be the executive director of the Forum for African Investigative Reporters. I was a board member of that organization, and we became very close. When she moved to the Netherlands, then she joined ZAM Chronicles, and they were doing a lot of reporting about Africa. And then we agreed that we could share content and that we could do investigation together. And so we decided to do this investigation together. And not a dime was given to us, It is not about money. It was just when Tobore came back and Tobore became a bit sick, that Zam Chronicle, since they were going to use the story as well, what Zam Chronicle has done is to pay Tobore's, they pay to head Tobore's.
So they pay. Oh, so you
Tobore's
okay. They didn't pay you, but they paid Tobore. They paid Tobore. How much did they pay Tobore? How much did they pay Tobore, Mojeed? Tell the world.
How much did they didn't pay Tobore then. They gave to Premium Times. They gave, was it $500?
Come on. You people are just full of it. Why am I even listening?
Okay, so, okay. I mean,
they did not pay Premium Times.
David, can you believe this guy? These guys are full of it.
Premium Times.
I mean, there's just conflict of interest all over this story. I mean, this is disgraceful.
Okay, yeah, so one second, guys, one second, because again, I mentioned before that we're a bit on time. So, yeah, as far as like, guys, can you, oh, sorry. I just wanted to get some final questions and, on this part. On your part, Ikhide, I wanted to know, as far as getting involved in this debate, on thoughts on the Nigerian reader, what are your thoughts on this own experience in the process now of the debate on this story and your reaction, I guess, to the reader and to the Nigerian press?
Well, I want to say I am incredibly proud of the Nigerian reader. In the past 2 weeks, I have never been prouder of our Nigerians. They have stood up as a body of proud consumers and said, we want you to do better than this. I have to say, if anyone had ever told me that regular Nigerians will stand up and say and do the analysis and say you guys are full of it, I would say no way. I think what just happened in the past 2 weeks will make Nigerian journalism a lot better. Let me put it this way. Mojeed Dakpo and Premium Times will never, ever, ever type up an investigative report again from the safety of their bedroom, because the Nigerian people said we are not idiots.
No, Mojeed, I know you want to react to that, but quickly, please, first. Wait, Mojeed, one second. I know you want to react to that, but 1 second. I wanted to get, as you encased that reaction, I wanted to get what were your own, do you believe were the lessons learned from the reaction by readers on both sides, as well as if you were doing this again and in the future undertaking investigative reports, would there be any changes?
Well, we have done the right thing. We do what we could have done. And the only thing, if Ikhide has, if he had complained to say, look, I want this in this story and I didn't find it, then that would be a different issue. We can debate that. But I'm not going to debate with a man who insists that text messages that were published were doctored. Let him explain how. He said Tobore typed from our bedroom. Let him explain how. He hasn't. He has wasted our time on this program. He said the story is fabricated. He has not told us what evidence he has. Ikhide is misleading people who see him as an opinion leader. He's abusing his position. He's spreading falsehood. And how can a writer, somebody who does literary criticism, continue to mislead people? There is mass hypnotism here. But your claim that Premium Times, that the Nigerian people, is just you and a few people, a few loud people like you. A lot of Nigerians believe in the work we do. They know our antecedents. They know the work we do. They know what we are capable of doing. And that is why you are wasting your time thinking what you are doing is affecting Premium Times. Our fortune is actually growing.
Okay. Sorry, Mojeed. Sorry to cut you off there, but I know, Ikhide, you're definitely going to want to respond, but unfortunately, we are completely out of time. And I'm sure there's a very lively debate, and we'll continue on social media platforms. Perhaps in the future, we could definitely revisit this, perhaps even have you both back on. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us here on SaharaTV, and I apologize that we had to go and cut this short. Now, viewers, that was Mojeed Musikilu from Premium Times, managing editor of Premium Times, veteran investigative journalist, formerly investigative editor with Next. Also joining us was Mr. Ikhide Ikheloa, writer and social commentator. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being with us here at SaharaTV.